What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I am here today to do. I actually have three of my quick hit scouting report videos that I have to do today. This is going to be the first one. Before I do that, though, there are two things that I want to mention. One, I want to apologize because I kind of screwed up this week. I wasn't totally paying attention to when the games were being played, and I ended up doing the week 3 scouting report for the Carolina Panthers and Houston Texans from the Thursday night game for week 3 before I got to the Texans and the Panthers week 2 games. So that's on me. That's my bad. I'm going to make sure that I'm better so that way I can get them more in chronological order, week 2 before week 3, week 3 before week 4, etc., etc. So sorry about that. Unfortunately, it is the way it is. So when I get to the league standings, for example, in this video, because this is the week 2 scouting report for the Texans, it's going to have their week 3 numbers included in it. So, it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, that's why I'll be better. The other thing, though, I want to mention is there was some pretty big news today. Unfortunately, Tua... it's not surprising, but Tua has officially been placed on the injured reserve. So he's going to be out for at least 3 weeks. That means we have Jacoby Brissett starting for the foreseeable future, at least until, he gets hurt or something. Because I think there's honestly, as much as I hate to say it, there's a possibility he gets hurt. He got a little shook up in the last game against the Bills. End up with Reed Sinnett. Anyway, but it is Jacoby Brissett at least for the next 3 games: the Raiders, the Colts, and the Tampa Bay Bucks. So it's unfortunate, but that's what we have to live with. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive right into this. Let's get to it. So the Texans, they played the Browns. Don't really care about the Browns because we don't play them, so not really gonna focus on them. Focus on the Texans. It's still, as of right now, I still have this as a team that's, young, rebuilding. They're having, they obviously have the Deshaun Watson drama stuff going on, but who knows? We could end up trading for Deshaun Watson at some point, especially if we do end up losing more quarterbacks. So, anyway, but, and they have, their fair struggles. Right now, Tyrod Taylor is out. He actually left in this game that I'm about to, go over right now, the Browns game that they played in week 2. He got injured then. It was a hamstring, so we'll see. We would actually rather, when we play them, though, we would rather them have Davis Mills in there because, in my opinion, because he's young, he's a rookie, he doesn't have a ton of experience and so on and so forth, and he's a lot less mobile than Tyrod Taylor is. So hopefully we will be facing Davis Mills when we do play him. But overall it is still, and it's a home game for us. So overall I still do have this as a win on the Dolphins schedule. And let's go ahead and break this down a little bit. Oop, I'm sorry. Before we get to that, let me swap over to here. That's actually not even what I want either. Here we go. Okay. So now as you see, the Texans did lose in this game, which, after week 2 dropped them to 1-1 because they won their, first game of the season, 31-21. They actually played the Browns pretty well for the most part. For, most of this game, they actually kept it pretty competitive, but ultimately lost to a much better team. So Houston had 302 total yards. They gave up 355. They had 220 in the passing game, gave up 199. Only 82 rushing yards and gave up 156. They did have 5.2 yards per play comparative to the 6.2 they gave up. They did, they did give up 1 fumble. They also threw an interception. They got, a fumble and interception though as well on defense, as you can see. Houston let up 1 sack. Cleveland let up 2, so the Texans got 2 sacks. Houston was 57% on third down, and they let the Browns go for 44%. Houston only had the ball for 24-55, whereas the Browns had it for 35-05, and the Houston Texans had 9 penalties to the Browns 5. Okay, Now, went a little far here. Let's swap over. So we will look at the Browns as we usually do. Even if we're not focusing on them, just to kind of get a little bit better picture of what the Texans defense did. They let Baker Mayfield throw for 19 for 21, 213, one touchdown. They did get the interception off of him. Nick Chubb led the way for them in the rushing game, 11 for 95 yards, a touchdown, and an 8.6. Kareem Hunt added 13 for 51 and a 3.9. Baker Mayfield had 8 for 10, a touchdown, and 1.3. And Andy Janovich, 2 rushes with 1 score. Demetric Felton had led the way for them in receiving, 2 of 2, 51 and a touchdown. Harrison Bryant, 4 of 4, 49. Austin Hooper, 5 of 5 for 40. Rashard Higgins, 2 of 2 for 27. David Njoku, 2 of 3 for 18. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 1 for 14. And we will do a quick scroll down so you can take a look at the rest of this if you so choose, just so you know how it played out in the rest of the statistics. Obviously, if you want to see more about the turnovers, tackles, etc., kicking game, maybe you like the kicking game. All right, so like I said, Tyrod Taylor did get hurt in this game. This is where he sustained his hamstring injury, so he did eventually come out. But before that, he was 10 for 11, 125 and a touchdown. Davis Mills was 8 for 18, 102, 1 score and 1 interception. Mark Ingram led the way in rushing for them. 14 rushes, 41 yards, a 2.9. David Johnson added 6 for 25 and a 4.2. And Tyrod Taylor had 1 for 15 yards and a touchdown, obviously before he came out of the game. Brandon Cooks led the way receiving, 9 of 14, 78 and a touchdown. Andre Roberts, 1 of 2 for 35. Nico Collins, 1 for 32. David Johnson, 2 of 2 for 22. Philip Lindsay, 1 for 22 and a score. Jordan Atkins, 1 for 2 and 17 for 17. Chris Conley, 1 of 2 for 13. And a quick scroll down for you for the rest of these, just in case you care about, the tackle breakdowns and stuff like that. All right, and now we are going to swap over to my nice little WordPad made up template here that I adjust for each one of these, and we are going to go through these league standings. So now again, just real quick, of course, this does include the week 3 matchup between the Texans and the Panthers. Again, that's my fault for not making sure they fell in chronological order, but I will be better going forward. So the Texans offensively have 944 total yards after their week 3 matchup, which has them second, but yards per game, they are 23rd with 314.7. And let's see, total passing, they have 686, which is 4th. 25th, though, with per game average with 228.7. They're 6th overall in rushing with 284, but 22nd. So obviously this kind of goes to show you a little bit more where they actually are, right? Like, so after everybody else plays for week 3, their total, where they stand in their total will probably fall more towards the mid or back end of the pack, right? Something like that. But per game, they are rushing for 94.7, which is 22nd. Total points on the season, they have 67, which is currently 5th. But per game, they're at 22.3, which is 19th. Defensively, they're giving up 385.7, which is 20th in the league. That's total yards. Passing yards, they're giving up 283, which is 21st. Rushing yards, 116.3, which is 17th. Points per game, 25.3, which is 18th. Takeaways, they have 5, which is 3rd. Interceptions, 4, which is 4th. Fumbles, 1, which is 24th. Sacks, 6, which is 7th. And passes defensed, 10, which is 10th. And of course, it's still early, so there is still a lot of bunching up of these teams. But yeah, so, and then of course, as always, just to give you a quick look at where the Dolphins are currently in their league standings. These are the offensive league standings and the defensive league standings. Obviously, the Dolphins need to do a lot better, and so far their defense has obviously been, what's even giving them any semblance of like life and hope. But unfortunately, if the offense can't come to life, then the defense is going to get worn out as the season goes on. So anyway, that's my week 2 quick hit scouting report video for the Houston Texans. Again, one last time, I apologize for not having it in chronological order. But I will be better with that. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. Of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.